Hello everyone, this is Diane. Do you remember this journal? I created this journal some time ago using a tutorial by Nellie Wortman, and I haven't done anything in it in a long time. I think this is just going to be a collage type journal, but like 3D collage, not just paper collage, as you can see on the front. And I haven't done anything in it for a while. And I really like it, so I thought it was time to play in it. I love this feature, this extra book cover on the inside, and that was a Nellie Wortman idea. And it is an old book of worship. It's a hymn book from the 1800s. And that makes it really heavy, because that's a heavy cover, and this book itself has a thick cover. So it makes the front cover heavy, but I love it. So let me just show you what I've done in it so far. I have a scripture verse here. This is just something that I had stamped and embossed with white embossing powder, and then I painted inside the embossing, and I really loved the way it looked, the effect. And I had that in my stash for a long time. So I just added it to my book here and added some vintage paper or fabric pieces and this part of an inside of a book spine. And these pages are made with watercolor paper. There's just a little image out of a book. And little pieces of baby clothes or doll clothes, really old ones. This is a lady from a poem book. And I have a pile of these pictures that came from that poetry book that I think are perfect to use in this journal. So that's what I'm going to work with today, another one of these. And she's playing the piano. It says, "Music softens the pain, increases the joy, and opens the heart." There's stenciling with texture paste, a bit of lace. And I tucked this little picture in here so I could do something with it. I haven't done anything with it yet. This is the front of a baby outfit. And when I sprayed here, it got onto this, which I love. And let's see, this was part of the tutorial, making this little house looking thing with a mica chip and more vintage fabrics. There's another image from that book of poetry. So these pages are prepped from the tutorial, and now I'm going back in and doing more, adding photos and color and laces. I lost my train of thought. This was something I cut out of one of my old art journals. I just love the way that spiral looked. I like the color of this. So, and it has a scripture verse written around the spiral. So I just added that in here. So I have a lot of pages to add stuff to. I'm going to start right here. I'll remove this so I don't damage it. And these are pictures that came from that book of poetry. I think I'll use this one. They're very pensive looking women, and I thought it just worked well in this journal. So I will put her on here, but I want to do something to the background. I don't have a plan, we're just playing, but I brought in my ink sprays, and I have tissue paper or parchment paper to put behind there, and I will spray through my stencil. I forgot to bring in my texture paste, so maybe we'll try to do it without any texture paste. let's try this German font. I do like that, and I don't use it very often. Looking at my inks right now, I have a lot of blues and greens, mostly greens there. Let's go with a different color. I think I want to cover this piece of clothing. I'm looking for a pink. I have grapefruit red and red, but they are both pale. I think this one is pink. These are made with food coloring, so they're not bright. They're not made with ink. Let's see what this one looks like. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm pretty sure it comes out pink. Yes, and it is quite pale, which is good. I'm going to dry this, and then we'll add another color. This cathedral window, I think, goes well with that German font. The sprayer doesn't work very well. It doesn't look very cathedral windowy because it's not laying flat, so the ink gets underneath and spreads, but it definitely shows a pattern. Okay, I'm going to try something. This is an experiment. Gotta dry my stencil. I don't know where my paper is, my pad of paper that I use for background. Here it is. I'm going to lay this back on top of what I just did, and I'm going to just rub some ink through it in a darker color to help bring out the pattern. Let's see how that works. I'm going to try the rusty hinge. Where did I lay my first stencil? Oh, they fell on the floor. This will be harder to line up. I'll do a different color. I don't want to do too much because with this stencil you can see that it is some text. Maybe I'll actually do just a little bit of black and hope I'm not ruining it. Well, I was being too timid. Couldn't see a thing. Okay, can see a little bit. Can't see any of it down here. I might cut that part off. Just have the crochet hanging off the page. Got some pink ink on there. Okay, so I think what I will do is kind of wrap this netting over the edge of the photo here and sew it. So I'm going to go sew it, and I'll hopefully be able to delete this. Last time I tried to delete a portion, I deleted the first part of the video. So yeah, I'm gonna try that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was over there, I put this over and kind of rolled it under a little bit, and then I just did some extra stitching on the picture itself to add some more texture. And now I just have to glue that down, but I might want to put something behind it. Cover up that little bit of ink with that. My collage pouch comes in handy sometimes. This is from an old piece of sheet music. It says hearts and flowers, but I just love that, how it all looks. I think that just might be too big for this page. We'll use that on something else. This just has some texture paste on it, but I don't think it was put through a stencil. I think it was just put on there with a spatula. And then I have a little room to write something on here if I do this. So I think this is what we'll do. I love this old 1800s ledger. It's just so gorgeous. And I love, you can see the holes where it was sewn in to the book. This is the one that I bought at a flea market, and the person who had it, once they were done using it as a ledger, either they or someone else took it and started gluing newspaper clippings on top of the ledger pages. And the person that sold it thought that was the cool part. Thought I would really like those newspaper pieces. No, I want the ledger underneath. So I was able, the glue came off on a lot of the newspaper pieces, so they just kind of pulled right off, but not all of them. And some of them didn't get covered to begin with, so I was able to preserve a lot of the ledger pages, and it's all torn and very easy for me to just tear up and use without feeling bad. Well, I don't know why I don't want to put the glue on that yet, because then I won't be able to pick her up and glue her down. Sometimes it's hard to think about the best way to do things when you're layering. Well, don't know where the rosette went. I'm sure it's here somewhere. And I've got more I can cut if I need to, but I'm just going to wait. It'll turn up. Maybe when I'm cleaning up my table. I didn't take it over to the sewing table, did I? Nope. Okay. So I think I'm going to call this done for now, and like I said, I can write something on this page. Now, for this, maybe I can just glue this to it. I can create some texture that I can't write on here because I'll add her to a card and put her in there. Don't want it to look so square. I want something with a small design to put in that little space right there. I'm hoping I can even fit it in there well enough to do it. I'll use one of my Lorna Taylor stencils. Just going to put a little bit of blue ink in there too. So it's not quite so stark. This is Stormy Sky, the Distress Oxide. And I could add some lace to this clothing piece. I'm just going to put a mark here so I know where to put this piece. I'm glad I found a good place to use that. That out too. I didn't have anything prepared. Oh, look what I found. My rosette on the floor. I would like something with color, but also something vintage, if possible. A little bit of blue. This is a blueprint from an old magazine. If I cover up that picture down there, I could frame her with that and then glue her to, well, I don't know. I want you to be able to see that it's a blueprint if I use that. Maybe that would be nice. I don't have much color in my collage pouch. This is coffee dyed paper that got overcooked, too crunchy to use as a page, but I could do that with it. and then glue it to something sturdy to write on. It's not coffee dyed paper, it was blue dyed paper. Let's see if she still fits in there. Yes, she does. I don't want to make her background piece very much bigger than that, though. I think I'll just use this paper instead of cardstock. I think with 3 layers, that'll be good enough. And after the video, I will probably sew, but I'm not going to do that right now. So you can see color variations around the edges of this blue paper because it's brown in the center part of the paper where it got burnt. So that looks kind of cool. I was going to make her card longer so I could tuck it all the way in and you could still see her face, but I guess I'll just leave it out. Now, let me see if I can add some lace to this part. I do like that this part got stained. It's a little scrap from this. Just got a little blue trim around it. So the blue is subtle on this page. There's some on the background, a little bit on her. She's wearing a blue dress, but she's covered with her red hair. A little bit of blue there. So I like the subtle touches of blue. Here's a little scrap with some blue embroidery. Trying to decide if I want to bring some of the lace over to this side. I do want the pin tucking to show. So I won't cover that all up. This is just what I have in this little scrap container, so maybe a little bit later I could find something else to go on here. Do I want to include that? I think I do. Maybe it'd be better without that. I think that looks better. I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard, although you can tell how hard I'm trying. I don't want to waste any of this ribbon, or this lace, so I'm going to cut it, the part that would be hidden. I hope you're having fun, because I am. Don't want to get any glue on her. So I could write something on the back here. I'll probably distress it a little bit. But those are 2 pages that I was able to do in this 43-minute session. I like them. Do you like to watch me work in this book with this style of anything goes? Kind of messy. This one looks really messy, but I like it. Yeah, this is going to be fun to fill up. And I added some yellow to the back and a little bit of shirring there, so that's really fun. So I can't wait to see how I finish that page off. I can skip around in here if I want to. I don't have to go in order, although I'm a very linear person. It's kind of odd to be linear and creative at the same time, isn't it? How about you? Are any of you creative but linear? I'm curious. Well, I guess that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope that you are having a creative day today. Bye.